My name is Tandin Dorji, and I am the founder of Education Pro Group. And at present, I'm serving as the Managing Director for Kingston International College, based in Australia, Perth, Western Australia, to be precise. Okay, let's get on. Please raise your hand if you have fear for anything else. See here, I'm not going to ask question, by the way. You have a fear even to raise your hand. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe you're scared that we may ask questions. But why we are here today is just to pass on the message to you. There is more fearful moments coming on your way. That is the change in the global perspective. You will have to be prepared. Let's take a very simple reference point from the Great Economic Depression. The economic depression which have hurt the world, the Great Economic Depression that happened from 1929 till 1933. It has torn world apart. There were a lot of job losses. The gross domestic product for the world have dropped 20%. No industrial operations. All the operations were shut down. The unemployment rate have risen to 25%. That is the maximum acceptable. It has taken 25 years to recover the stock market. That was the bad lesson ever learned in the 20th century. Then 21st century, what had happened? Again, there was a great recession. You may not be knowing about these things because our Bhutan has not been affected. That time, our Bhutan is not part of global economy. That was the beauty and that was the blessing of being a very small country. The great recession had happened in 2007. Till 2009, 2008 was the great affected years. Great recession, meaning there is no growth in the economy. I think to be able to digest this information, it is very, very important for you to be able to relate with the history. What is the purpose of studying history? If you are fluent with history, if you are fluent with statistics, if you are fluent with data, I think these are the students who can do very well in their future. After Great Recession, same effect have been witnessed by the world. There was loss in the economy. And actually it triggered from the bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers. I conducted research on this one as my final year paper when I was in Australia. Lehman Brothers is an investment company. They have been doing an investment in the world in terms of property, buying of houses. And this buying behavior have replicated and they entered in UK market. They have entered into Asian markets. 2007 to 2009 was the bad day for subcontinent countries. But we were not affected, at least we are lucky, right? Taking from that point, 2029 was the bad lesson again. It's still ongoing. No one have expected that COVID to happen. It has disrupted the entire system. There was loss of jobs. Forget about other countries. In Bhutan alone, we have unemployment rate of 25%. That is record high and acceptable by any standard. That is the situation we are in at the moment. If you have 4 or 3%, that is the maximum allowable. Anything below that, 3 or 4 or 100% employment is also a problem. This is where the inflations come in. So what's next? How many lives have taken by this COVID? Millions and millions of people have been affected. Millions and millions of people have gone hungry. What's next? What you're preparing for? Are we prepared? Is the entire world prepared for this? I think not everyone is prepared for this. So, I'm having a feeling, 20 years from now, all the banks will go bust from boom. All the insurance companies will also go bust from boom. There will be a dislocation in the entire financial system. Have you ever heard about cryptocurrency? Okay, who can give me a definition of cryptocurrency? Anyone? Your president said, I have a handful of very intelligent students. I'm expecting a very good answers from you. Okay, if you're not ready, nothing like it, doesn't matter. Why I am interested talking about this cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is going to change this world by dislocating the entire financial system. Cryptocurrency, it is indifferent from what you are doing now. You must be thinking that it is a digital currency. It is just like M-Bomb. It is just like M-Pay. It is just like T-Pay, where you don't have to see the currency. But the fact is, your currencies are all monitored. If you're talking about Bhutan, Royal Monetary Authority is the agency who look after demand and supply part of the currencies. If there is shortage of money in the market, then the government interventions come in. That financial literacy, you should have at least the information. Okay? When there is surplus of money, which is called inflation, government will increase the interest rate and they will take control of the entire economy. If you are talking about Australia, Reserve Bank of Australia is the agencies, authority looking after Australian dollars. If it is India, Reserve Bank of India is the authority looking after this. But the thing is, cryptocurrency is a digital currency. There is no regulatory authority. When you are paying or making a payment, you don't have to route through banks. Which means, by the virtue of being a digital currency, they have their own freedom. No one has the influence on making a decision on how these trades should happen. Are you getting me? I think half of you are lost. So, when you are doing a transfer, you are not affected by foreign currency. There is no failure in the payment because it is not monitored. It is immune to the government authority and manipulations. Through this, what I'm supposed to pass this message is, this currency is the future trend, and you have to be prepared for this one. The business climate and business environment, it is becoming one marketplace. You have all the informations in hand. The geographical barriers have been dissolved to 1 centimeter, that is your mobile phone. Any information you want, anything you want to do, you can get it done on your phone. And that's the reason why cryptocurrency is showing the dominance. So that's why the cryptocurrency is the future. Fortune 500 companies in America have started accepting cryptocurrencies as a mode of payment. Why I'm sharing this one is, under my leadership, Kingston International College, in collaboration with Australian Institute of Management and Commerce, IMC, it is one of the listed companies in Hong Kong. It's one of the listed companies in Australia. We have designed Masters of Business Administration programs, specialization in big data, specialization in blockchain technology, specialization in fintech. And I know that soon you are going to graduate. And once you graduate, if you wanted to take this kind of courses, this is where your future lies. You may be thinking that it's too crazy. I cannot do this. It is nothing like it. Anything is possible if you want to. And I will give you, and I will quote you a very simple example. Take reference from my personal life. Anyone from Lindsay? Again, you are having fear to raise your hand. Anyone who knows where Ungar is? No? I come from a place called Ungar under Limsizonga. I have been told by so many of my friends, your village is located outside Bhutan map. Sometimes I feel that we are so isolated. That's true. I have done all my pre-primary school there in Lindsay. I studied at Zankar Primary School up to class 6. After that, I went to Tangmushu Higher Secondary School. I did my class 10 there. After that, I studied science from Gelpushing High School up to class 12. After class 12, I went to Sharapsi College, which means I have had the entire study period in the Eastern State. I also come from a very decent family background. I had had a very difficult time. By the way, do you know night hunting culture? Huh? Do you know night hunting culture? Okay. So there is a night hunting culture in our village, in our locality. With due respect to my mom, I am a victim of Kokti culture. I don't have dad. We had a very, very difficult time. You cannot think about anything else there. It is totally isolated. It is totally dislocated. Forget about doing business. It will be very hard for you to survive for yourself alone. I was having a thought that when this electrification works will happen, I was having a thought that the road connections will not happen in our village until I get very old. But everything had happened. I had a very, very difficult time. Until class 8, I didn't have a slipper to wear also. Sometimes we had to borrow money from others. And I know the pain. When you say you will give on that date, and when you are not able to pay back after you said you will pay on that date, how embarrassing it is. I know that. That was the situation. I was about to give up my education. But what kept me going is, I felt that education is very important in the life. I'm very thankful to His Majesty the King because it is under their dynamic leadership. All the Bhutanese kids like us, all the Bhutanese children like yours, we get access to free education. We have access to free healthcare system. If that is not the reason, I may not be in the position that I'm whatever today. And I have one goal in my mind. After my graduation, I desperately wanted to look for a job. And I want to retire my mom. Because during the break time, we used to get 14 days. 14 days summer break, I used to work in a paddy field, do the plantation, complete it, do the weedings. During the winter time, it's 2 months. During the 2 months time, we will have to collect the firewood for the entire 9 months for the summertime. That was the difficult time. Indeed, I can now realize and I can relate myself to something else. I realized that I was preparing for the worst case scenario. So that was the situation. And coming back to the point, as soon as I graduated from Sharapsi College, I haven't wasted any time. I thought that I should get a job. Try to seek for a job. No advertisement, nothing. I thought that working for Bhutanese film fraternity would be a good option for me. So I went with a proposal to see the Secretary General of Bhutan Film Association. I said, no vacancy announcement done, no job positions were created. I have created one for myself. I went with the proposal and I said, if you want to create this job position for me, this is what I can do for you. Next day, I was invited to do a presentation in front of all the executive members. And they have made a decision to hire me. And my starting salary, I have started with 6,000 per month. Within 1 week, I got a job. I have graciously accepted that 6,000 as my monthly payment because I knew what I'm capable of. And I thought that this is a platform for me to prove. And I got it now. And I want to get it done as soon as possible. Within 6 months, they have given me a pay rise of 12,000. I've been working there for some time, 2 years. But I haven't seen any growth in my career thereafter. So I thought that I should look for another job where there is a growth, where there is a space for me. And I was very desperate, looking for jobs, looking for the advertisement. Luckily, Kunsal Corporation Limited, they were doing re-vacancy post. They have already conducted interviews, they have already selected someone else. But that candidate must not have fulfilled all the criteria. And that job position is marketing officer. Now the mismatch here is, I come from computer science background. And my competitors, they are coming from Bachelor of Business Administration, marketing. 60 of us have applied for that job position. I said, I'm only the IT guy. If you give me an opportunity, I said, e-Kunsal, electronic version is the future. And your paper would not find any value in the future. If you give job to me, this is what I'm going to do. I got selected as a marketing officer. 6 months later, they found me working on the computers. They came to know me that I am a computer guy. So they appointed me as a computer programmer. So I have developed a system which most of the time reduces the manpower involvement. I have been advising on the process automations, getting securities tight. And I have also worked with ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning Development for the Kunsal Corporation. I have been given that job position, and I was really satisfied with that. And that point in time, I thought that this is the time where I can support my mom. I went back to the village. I said, now we can have at least a fruitful life in the town. And I retired her. I always feel, let my mom die before me. Not because I want to live long. I always think, I always feel what I can do for her when she is on the dying bed. That is the promise I have. Okay, going by this, when I was working for Kunsal, I was never satisfied. 2 years into the job, I thought that I should do something else. Around that time, that was in 2014, some people are going to Australia. Sons and daughters of Dashus, Limbos, they are going there. Some from the business background where they have access to enough financial resources. I said, why don't we try? I thought that I should give a try because I have been doing a lot of research online how to go about this one. And in 2014, that was in October, I got my visa approved to study in Australia. In 2014, I was not talking like this. I started speaking English when I was in Australia only. I was having fear to speak English. My English may not be that 100% correct. My English may not be that 100% accurate. But I don't fear speaking in English. So that's why I was telling you, you should be having confidence to at least raise your hand when I say it, and no one is doing. And you want to be the same guy. In Australia, life is very, very, very difficult. It's moving at a very high pace. Not like here in Bhutan. Everything is okay. You are okay to come 10 minutes late. You are okay to delay anything by 30 minutes. Everything is okay. But things are not okay in Australia. I had a very, very difficult time to adjust myself. I want to be very unique. It was the time I found an opportunity. There is an invitation for the nomination of presidencyship. I was not confident, but still I want to. Only 13 Bhutanese were there. 18,000 international students coming from 75 different countries. I said, let me give a try. Let's go. And I started my campaign. On the pool day, I became the president, first Bhutanese international president in Australia in 2017. I was nominated as one of the active members of academic board, where I need to represent the entire student body. If there is any problem, they will report to me. If there is any issue with the curriculum, they will report to me. And I got an opportunity to do a lot of presentation like this. That time, my college was headed by the former Trade and Investment Minister of Australia. His name is Andrew Robb. I got one mentor, Dr. Eunice Liu. I also have great respect for her. And she has been helping me a lot. Same year in 2017, I was invited by an Office of Registered Migration Agent to work for them. I said, let's give a try. And of course, I had some fears. And that was the time when there were so many things going on in the Middle East. Bhutanese children going there, not getting the right advice. So I was having that kind of feelings, whether I should take up this job or not. 2 years later, I was followed by hundreds and hundreds of international students, followed by hundreds and hundreds of international students for the service, for the work, what I am doing. Then I was invited to be one of the business partners for a multinational company called LH Global. They have their offices in London, they have their offices in Malaysia, they have 30 offices in China, they have offices in Australia across all the cities. And I became the business development manager for that multinational company. After working for them for 2 years, I thought I'm much more prepared than ever. And I thought that I will start my own company called Education Pro. So this is how I have started Education Pro. And over the pandemic time, we had been able to do so many things. I was the one who have negotiated scholarships in lieu of getting the winners. And one of that kind is for the Voice of Bhutan. I have given 13 scholarships to Bhutanese children like yourself who have participated or who have contested on the platform of Voice of Bhutan. Now, you see, all the reality shows, they are backed up by 1 or 2 consultancy firms. So what? They are following me. I'm proud of that. My idea worked. And I think why people are copying you? Because what you do is what they feel it is best for them. And I want people to follow like this. And why I'm sharing all this story is that everything is possible. During the financial year 2021, I have been able to meet my financial target, $1 million. I got it, and I have been working for this 7 years straight through, no sleeping, no eating. And I have reached to a point where my wife, she even proposed a divorce. I was too much into my work. But the thing is, you will have to be able to negotiate. You will have to be able to solve the differences. I said, this is not the right time for us to Get engaged in lovey-dovey. Let me work. Let's have money first. Then these things will follow. 1 week ago, I became father. We are blessed with a very beautiful daughter. Thank you. So why I'm sharing this is, if a boy like myself, coming from a place like Ungar, can do something like this, I believe that you must have better support system than me. If that is the case, repeat after me with power and conviction. With power and conviction, please repeat after me once again. It's possible.
It's possible.
Until and unless I say I quit.
Until and unless I say I quit.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Until I win the game.
Until I win the game.
And your life should be taken as a war. Sorry, not to be repeated. You have to treat your life as a war. When you have declared the war, you shouldn't give up. If you give up, then there lies a problem. This is where failures come, when you give up. Life is short. Death is certain. And no one knows how long you can live. And when you are able to achieve your targets. And I'm interested talking about this topic because most of you study sustainable development, right? Anyone can share anything about CSR, corporate social responsibility. Sustainable development students. Anyone? Corporate social responsibility. Is it included in your curriculum? Yes or no? No? Okay. When you get an opportunity, when you get something else on your table, don't be too selfish. If you become selfish, then this is where things will turn down again. Even if you have millions, what to do? 2013 was the time where I even didn't have taxi fare, 100 rupees. I was struggling myself. Now I have millions, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Wherever you want to go, it is possible. Whatever you want to wear, it is possible. But it doesn't make any sense to me. How much I can eat, how much I can spend. I believe that people have entrusted me. They have put their money trusting me. And I'm just taking care of their money. So I decided better I should give away. And because of that, Education Pro have initiated 500 school bags giveaway. I know what it takes to study in a very remote place. I want students to become more than myself. And if any one of you have this kind of feelings, if any one of you can feel that, that is your problem. That itself is an indication of you growing in your future. Anyone? When I see some people in problem, I always have a feeling that that's my problem too. Before, I used to think, poor Bhutanese, when I travel, when I see people around, again I started feeling that if I have a supernatural power, I will make everyone equivalent. That is the kind of feeling, and that gives me driving. And one day, if I become a billionaire, don't get shocked. I will always work for better future, and I always look for differences in my life. Anything is possible. Anyone who don't know Jack Ma, 22 years before, Jack Ma was rejected by everyone else. 22 years is too short compared to what he had been able to achieve. Jack Ma from zero, nothing, to multi-billionaire. He became the top most billionaire in China. in 22 years. What did he do? Nothing. It's just an e-commerce platform that he have worked on. It is just like buying that any Buddhists are creating on the Facebook. But what he was able to do is, he got this e-commerce platform done the first. So he became successful. Facebook in 2010, they were just struggling. I've created my Facebook account only in 2010. Before that, it was hi-fi. I don't know where they are now. Facebook was just started in 2008, 2011. They were just going through a trial round. 25 years later now, they are one of the top 5 multi-billion dollars company in the world. So it is possible. It is very important for you to get your one of the products and services right. If you can get this done, I think the game is yours. So that kind of mentality you should come up with. Dan Lok, he is an orphan. He is an orphan from Hong Kong, and he later migrated to Canada. He have failed 13 businesses. One of his businesses is a scrap businesses, collecting rubbish and sell it to others. He have written so many books, and he is one of the leadership mentors across the world now. He is giving speech like this to thousands of intellectuals across the world. And he have become one of the multi-millionaires in Canada overnight. So no one can underestimate you. Don't let others judge you. What they see is their problem. Let them see. Until and unless you see yourself. There's two differences. You see with your eyes and you see with your mind sometimes. What you see by your eyes is the reality. And what you see by your mind is the interpretation. And if you get your interpretation wrong, this is where most of the people fail. Okay? Are you with me? Is it tiring? We're almost done now. Okay? So, our interest here, our interest of coming and seeing you people here, we know that you are graduating. I repeat once again, you are graduating. When you are graduating under my leadership, we have designed a program, Masters of Business Administration, specialization in FinTech, Masters of Business Administration, specialization in Big Data, and that is the future. If you want to come and study at Kingston International College in Australia, I'll be there. And we are going to run this program starting from this October. And we have also established Bhutan School Private Limited, where a lot of Bhutanese students are studying Dzongkha. And when you get to a right place, don't forget our country. You will understand the pain of not having your own country. At the moment, wherever you want to go, you have a passport, you have a CID. You can travel worldwide carrying a passport. What we have at the moment, our economy is too small. Our country is deteriorating in terms of economic growth. So many people are jobless. They are already migrating to Australia. They are already migrating to a place like UK. But at the back of your mind, you should always feel for your country, because what you have taken from your country is priceless. And you will have to bear this in mind. And I'm not expecting anything from starting Bhutan school in Australia. I just want to have Bhutanese kids learning Dzongkha there, our culture there, and what keeps Bhutan going is our culture integrity, our identity, and that is what we have to protect. And in the future, you may opt to study in developed countries, but don't forget to look after our country. And at times, I have seen so many other Bhutanese people, so many of our friends, When we say that please enroll your student to a Bhutanese school, they think that they are doing some favors to Bhutan. They think that they are doing some favors to our country. They think that the organizers are seeking favor from them, which is not. So this message I want to pass on to each and every one of you. And my only recommendation, not as an advice, okay? Through my personal experience, through my professional experience, be hungry for opportunities. You don't get lucky, you make lucky. So that's the end of my story.